Hi, welcome to another episode of Getting Real with Danna and Ginny. I'm Danna Bowman, co-founder of Thyroid Refresh and Thyroid 30.
And I'm Ginny Mahar, the other co-founder of Thyroid Refresh and Thyroid 30. And we are so excited to be here today with the one and only Mary
Mary
Shomon.
Shomon.
Welcome, Mary.
Yay!
Hi, everybody.
Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me on. This is great. This is a lot of fun.
Well, as some of you probably already know, Mary has been such an integral part of Thyroid 30 and Thyroid Refresh. She is our thyroid expert on our advisory board. And so we have so much content from her, and we've really been lucky to be able to lean on your expertise and wisdom throughout this journey and in creating Thyroid 30. So this is a really exciting day and an exciting time to all be here together.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say we have Celia's with us, so that's fantastic. And
Hi,
Jody,
Celia.
amazing Jody, who's one of the Thyroid 30 players that she's so supportive. We have T Cornish. Hi, T. Anyway, I wanted to jump in and just kind of say that, so I may kind of do that throughout the episode, just to say hi to everybody. So anyway.
Sure. Well, today we wanted to talk about choices. But maybe before we dig in, we should let the viewers know a little bit about Thyroid 30 because we are open for enrollment right now. It's a limited enrollment window, and we're getting to the tail end, guys. It closes on Sunday night. So we're getting down to the wire. If you haven't already signed up, please do. We'd love to have you along. Thyroid 30 is a 30-day wellness adventure for thyroid patients that is designed to help them implement thyroid-specific diet and lifestyle changes. So this is for all of us who are on this long healing journey and on this quest for optimal health, right? So,
and it's a game.
And it's a game.
It's
and
fun.
You play on teams. It's fun. It's, we add a lot of the missing pieces to the equation for thyroid patients, right? So to learn more, go to thyroidrefresh.com/thyroid30 and you can, get peeks into the game and enroll there. So it's $30, less than a night at a movies. You get a chance at a better you. You got nothing to lose, but a chance to feel better, right? And to thrive together, to meet other people who are on this same path, who know what you're going through and can help you make those changes and take those baby steps towards a more thyroid-friendly lifestyle. We're talking about things that are great for anyone, but we did design this specific to thyroid patients. So we're talking about things like prioritizing your sleep, looking at, your diet, avoiding food sensitivities, reducing your toxic burden, self-care, getting that support system, connecting with your teammates. You don't have to put a team together. We've got it all set up. You can easily find a team to join once you're in the game. So
boy, you get her
really
started.
Excited about it.
You get her started and she can't stop. She's so excited, right? So am I. So am I. But Mary, we're so glad to have you here. We met several years ago. I put that picture up today, and I'm so happy to be your friend. I'm so happy to have you on our advisory board, and I'm so grateful.
Well, thank you. And I'm so excited to be part of this amazing project and program and website and community and really, this effort to really up the bar for all of us that are living with thyroid disease. So I think it's marvelous.
Well, thanks, Mary. It's been amazing to have you along with us. So we feel very lucky for that. So let's chat, ladies. Let's talk about choices. That was kind of the theme that we wanted to talk about today. And I think this is so appropriate for us being on this eve of our very first Thyroid 30 wellness adventure, because I know as a thyroid patient myself, I have Hashimoto's. Sometimes it can feel like this is something that happened to us, and it is. A diagnosis is sort of something that happens to us. But what can we do to navigate that as thyroid patients, right? And feel like there's a lot we can do. That's why we created this. You know, we can make choices in that as to how we navigate it. And does anything come to mind for you, Mary, like advice for thyroid patients as to what can we do? How can we empower ourselves in light of, you know, a thyroid diagnosis?
Sure. Well, in some ways, I sometimes think about your thyroid treatment approach like building a house. You need to have a foundation, and then you need walls, and you need structure to support it. We need windows to escape and doors to be able to go in and out, and obviously a roof on the top. And so a lot of the things that you see out there about thyroid issues are you know, the bells and whistles, the extra things, but we really need to get back to the basics and look at the foundations. And the foundations are obviously finding and partnering with good healthcare professionals to be able to get your health condition under control in whichever kind of modality you're working with, whether it's conventional or allopathic or a combination of traditional and holistic medicine. So that's one of the foundational elements, but there's other foundational elements too. When I'm teaching courses on thyroid disease, I often start out, and Danna would probably remember this because I probably did this at some of the workshops that she's been at. I start out by saying, how many of you are tired? And of course, everybody's hands go up and I said, all right, if you sleep at least 7 hours a night, I want you to keep your hand up. And all the hands go down. And I say to them, look, you cannot complain about thyroid disease if you're not getting enough rest. Mm-hmm. And so that's another foundational element. Another one is the issue of hydration, getting enough water. I mean, we had a really cool article that mentioned Thyroid 30 and Thyroid Refresh this week in Bustle online, and it's talking about brain fog, which is a problem that a lot of thyroid patients complain about. You know, I'm spaced out, I can't concentrate, I can't focus, I don't remember very well. Well, yes, that is definitely a symptom of hypothyroidism in many cases. But when you're getting treatment and you think you're optimal, why are you still feeling that way? In a large part, it can often be because you're not drinking enough fluids, you're not hydrated. Being dehydrated makes you exhausted, spaced out, and you'll find it very hard to concentrate. So that's another basic fundamental element. You know, you can be taking supplements galore and eating all the right foods and trying to do all the right things, but if you're not getting rest, getting enough liquid, and doing some of these basic things, all those other things aren't going to work well, if at all. So I always sort of caution people to think, some of it sounds simplistic, it sounds obvious, it sounds easy, but how many of you are really doing it? And that's the big question, is you got to make yourself accountable. You have to make yourself committed and disciplined about some of the very basics. And I mean, that's why I think Thyroid 30 is so cool, because it helps us keep track of a lot of these important fundamentals that are essential to a well-oiled machine, basically, for our body and our life too.
And you know, when you say that, you know, because I'm just made this way. When you say, you know, you have to do this and you have to commit and you have to be, you know, accountable and stuff, I start to panic and run all these have-tos and stuff.
Right.
And that's another reason why Thyroid 30, that's why we created it, because we wanted to personally interject fun into it. And it does. It makes me, of course, pay attention and stay present, but it also injects lots of fun into the whole process. And, you know, it's not easy for a lot of people. And, you know, that whole have to thing is not just me. I mean, people don't like that. Or it's like you realize you have to do things and I have to do this and I have to do this, but then you kind of forget about it in your busy day and you don't make it a priority. So Thyroid 30 and, you know, helps make it a priority.
Exactly. It helps keep you on track and mindful of these choices. And yeah, of course, nobody can make you get enough sleep or drink enough water. And we can say should and could and ought to etc. And that does stress people out. It stresses me out when I feel like, oh, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I have to be doing this. I have to be doing that. But at the same time, I think the reminders, the fun, enter the bit of competition. I mean, how many people are running around trying to get their 10,000 steps in, because they're competing with themselves or competing with their record, or, it's being able to keep track of things gives you more control over those things, and feeling more in control makes it feel less like something's being done to you. Rather, you're the agent, you're in charge. And that's what I really like.
That's right.
I want to say really quickly, hi, Billy Ann. Hi, Dorothy. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for being here, ladies. Billy Ann asked if we deal with hyperthyroid and Graves' disease. And can you speak to that a little bit, Mary, about the 8 daily rituals and how those can support people with various diagnoses?
Absolutely. I mean, there's 2 separate kinds of subgroups within the Graves' hyperthyroidism category. There are people who are right now actively hyperthyroid with or having Graves' disease. In most cases, if you fall into that category, you're going to be on an anti-thyroid drug to slow your thyroid down. You might be on a beta blocker for heart related symptoms. But all of the things that we're talking about in Thyroid 30, moving, resting, drinking, the way you're eating, all of these are very relevant to your overall healing environment for the hyperthyroidism and Graves' disease. But the vast majority of people that have hyper or Graves, or who identify themselves as hyperthyroid or Graves patients, are people who have already been treated. Most cases, they've already had radioactive iodine. The doctors in the United States tend to like to do that as a solution. They don't like people being hyperthyroid or taking anti-thyroid drugs for a long time, so they tend to rush people in to get the radioactive iodine, RAI, and after that, in most cases, even though they promise you, oh, we're going to get your thyroid back to normal and you won't need anything, most of the time after RAI, people become hypothyroid. So that community of people absolutely can benefit, because I know that's the majority of the people we have in Thyroid 30 and Thyroid Refresh are people with hypothyroidism, because that's the vast majority of thyroid patients in the US. But all of our principles, all of our 8 daily practices, everything is supportive of overall health and healing and wellness, and for your optimal thyroid care, whether you are anti-thyroid drugs for hyperthyroid phase, or whether you're on thyroid hormone replacement for hypothyroid, or whether you are in the middle and trying to keep it that way.
Thyroid cancer too, because I know someone messaged us on Instagram and said, if I have thyroid cancer, can I play? Absolutely. The thyroid cancer patients, they still have issues and still probably have to take medicine. And, I mean, it's pretty much the same, right?
Well, and that's one of the things that I often say is all roads lead to hypothyroidism.
Right.
Because Hashimoto's usually for most people slows your thyroid down enough to make you hypothyroid and require medicine. Thyroid surgery for cancer, nodules, or goiter, or overactive thyroid will end up making you hypothyroid, because if you don't have a thyroid, you're going to be hypothyroid for life and require thyroid replacement. Radioactive iodine almost always makes people hypothyroid after. So almost all of the thyroid conditions across the board can end up resulting in some form of temporary or permanent hypothyroidism, and in most cases requiring some kind of treatment. So we're all in the same boat in the end, in most cases.
I think it's a good point to clarify here too, that we are in the business of diet and lifestyle support, right? We are not trying to replace medical advice. And when people reach out to us and say, I have thyroid cancer, can I participate? If you have any doubt, talk to your doctor, talk to your healthcare practitioner first. This is diet and lifestyle support. It's not a medical program for people in the midst of a serious health crisis. You sort of have to get through that that part of it first and get stabilized.
But let me add something to that, Ginny. If you go to your doctor and you say, hey, I want to do this program that's involving getting more rest and drinking and eating well and moving, et cetera, and your doctor says, oh, that's not good, you probably need a new doctor.
Right.
And that happens.
I mean, any doctor that would tell you not to do 8 amazingly healthy things every day for yourself, you know, de-stressing, relax, you know, all of it. If your doctor is opposed to that, then you've got a doctor who's back in the dark ages, and it's time to get into the 21st century.
And that's such a huge hurdle for so many of us. I mean, number one, find a doctor who's willing to work with you and, you know, help you through this and not just dismiss your residual symptoms and things like that.
Exactly.
But, you know, I think the reason that we put this together is that, you know, these things have helped us. I used a similar program to this to help me get through some really concentrated times in my healing journey. And it was really hard to do it alone. And I just, even though what I did was not thyroid specific, it was so nice just to have other people there. And that's why we created the Thyroid 30, which is now open for enrollment. For those of you just tuning in, you can learn more at thyroidrefresh.com/thyroid30. We are open for enrollment for just a couple more days for our upcoming 30-day wellness adventure. But that's why we very intentionally built in not only team support, but the accountability, you know, scoring yourself, just going through your daily scorecard and looking at these 8 daily rituals, these areas of, you know, a thyroid healthy lifestyle, and realizing, wow, you know, when we were testing this, I had those aha moments of I really need to be better about prioritizing my sleep. And I've been starting this business, and sometimes I have to work at night, and there's a little bit of sometimes you have to do what you have to do kind of thing. But this is all about bringing awareness to those habits, adding accountability and adding support so that you can make the changes and go up to 30,000 feet, look down at your life and go, here's where I really could improve. And wow, I thought I was living pretty healthy, but I actually see some pretty great opportunities of areas where I could improve.
And that's the point, you know, like one of the things that I think I say every time is it makes you stop and realize. It makes you be present, because lots of these things are things people know to do, right? They just don't do them. Not because they, you know, don't mean to, or not because they're not trying to take care of their health, or not because they don't want to, or whatever it is. It's just life kind of gets in the way. And, you know, you just sometimes don't take care of yourself, don't stop and think. And so this is basically one of those moments for me. Thyroid 30 is like, just stop, smell the roses, pay attention, drink some water, get some sleep. Now I'm going to be paying attention to those things because I'm playing Thyroid 30. So it feels good like that, you know, thinking about it like that.
Well, the other thing to me is that every little choice is a win. And if you are being aware of it and paying attention to it, it actually kind of keeps you going and gives you little hits of happy throughout the day. So, you know, you sit down in a restaurant and you're deciding what to drink. And are you going to have a Diet Coke filled with, you know, aspartame or stevia? Or are you going to have a water or a seltzer or an iced tea, you know, organic iced tea? You choose the water or the tea. That's a win. It's just a small win. Or, you know, you go to the kitchen and you look in the refrigerator and you think, well, am I going to have that leftover piece of cake from dinner last night, or am I going to have a handful of strawberries? And you pick the strawberries and you think, okay, that's a win. And every time we do that, we're reinforcing healthy habits. We're reinforcing healthy decisions. We're changing our neural pathways, because then we start thinking, oh, man, you know, a couple of strawberries are going to make me feel happy. In contrast to the piece of chocolate cake. So it's these little daily decisions over and over again every day, every week, every month, times 10, times 12, you know, that add up, and they build new habits, and they build happy.
That's
and
right.
even if you don't, or even if you kind of fall off the wagon, you can still pick back up very easily. You don't have to think that, oh, I ruined it, and the next day I've got to wait till next Monday because perfect example, it was my birthday on Monday, and my sister-in-law baked me a lemon cake, and it is my favorite. And I knew it was coming, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna manage this. I'm just gonna do it. So I did, and I ended up having 4 slices before I sent it with my husband to work. I was like, this thing, you cannot leave me in a house with lemon cake, no matter what kind of disease or what's happening to me. It doesn't matter. Get this yellow monster out of my house. So he did. He took it to work with him. And the next day I got up and I was like, okay, so I pretty much fell off the wagon, but I'm gonna start over, and I can do this, and it's no big deal. And for lunch, I was like, oh, there's a sandwich in there. I'm kind of hungry. I took the ham out. I got some avocado. I had a whole ham sandwich without the bread. And I was like, see? Win.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
and it's not about doing it perfectly. It's
No.
about coming back to that over and over again. I mean, that's how we make change happen in our lives. Everybody has stuff that happens to them.
Yeah.
But this is how we create change and empower ourselves, is with those daily choices that add up to making big differences in our lives. And as the game progresses, you go from, wow, I feel so much more aware of the choices I'm making, to, wow, the choices I'm making are really making a difference in how I feel. And that is so hugely empowering as a thyroid patient.
Yeah. And any nutritionist or fitness trainer or coach that's worth their salt will tell you it's the 80-20 rule. You want to do the right thing 80% of the time, and that gives you the latitude to do other things 20% of the time. If 80% of the days I get my workout in, that's good enough. If 80% of the days, I eat pretty clean and don't go overboard and don't have 4 pieces of lemon cake, then I'm great, So that's, and it's the same thing with Thyroid 30. Perfection is not the goal. It's improvement. It's moving forward. It's making progress. That is that's a success. If you drinking more than you did last week, that's a success. If you eat a little cleaner than you did last week, that's a success. If you start incorporating some relaxation and mindfulness into your life, that's a success. So again, I think, keeping the 80-20 rule in mind, and also realizing that it's not a final destination, it's a journey, and we're just trying to make progress down the road.
And it's not a 30-day quick fix. I mean, this really is a lifestyle. When I started out, I remember breaking down crying at a restaurant, looking at the menu and thinking, I had just started working with a naturopath and was identifying a lot of food sensitivities. And I looked at this menu and went, all these things I love, I can't eat anymore. They're not good for me. Well, within a month of, working through that and incorporating some of those changes, it was like someone flicked a light switch inside me, from where I was tired every day for 4 years to all of a sudden I feel like myself again. I'm working more again. I'm able to be the mother I want to be again, and the person I want to be. I feel happier. And my husband would, look at me with sympathy when he and my son were eating ice cream cones or something. Oh, and I would say, don't feel sorry for me. I'm getting my life back. And this is years in for me now. It doesn't happen overnight. And all of us we get to those points where we have to get back on track. We lose our way. Summer comes, we go on a vacation, whatever, life happens. And it's about coming back over and over to that place of empowerment. And I know what to do so that I feel well. And I just need to make those choices to do that. Right?
So you really also, I think, want to listen to your body, because, when I'm talking with people or doing weight loss coaching, things like that, I'll say, when did you feel your best and lose weight? And they'll say, well, when I cut out dairy and I cut a lot of gluten out of my diet, and I was eating a lot of veggies and protein and nuts and good fats. And I'll say, okay, so why are we talking now? And they'll say, well, because I can't lose weight. And I'm like, well, how are you eating? Well, I'm not doing any of those things anymore. I'm like, why? Your body was telling you exactly what it needed. And when you listen to your body and you honor what it's telling you, not ignore it, but honor it like it's a trusted friend giving you advice, you're going to make better decisions. I mean, who doesn't love a giant bowl of pasta? Pasta is wonderful, but I know if I go out to a restaurant tonight, I can choose a giant bowl of pasta, or I can choose a big piece of grilled salmon and a giant salad. I know which one I'm going to feel better after eating.
Right.
And so 80% of the time, I'm going to choose that salmon. Now, I may still choose the pasta knowing what the effect is going to be because I want the immediate gratification of it. But when you tune in and pay attention, it helps you make better decisions on the fly as you go, because you want to feel good. You know, as they always say, you know, nothing tastes as good as being well and energized feels. And
Right.
That's true for the most part. Now, it's not for some people that pasta's fine. They can eat that perfectly and it's not a problem. For me, it's not something I can eat on a regular basis without suffering from, you know, it causing weight gain and all sorts of other issues. But it's individual for each one of us. We've got to pay attention and listen to what our body needs. Maybe you're fine on 6 or 7 hours of sleep a night, but you're not drinking enough water. Or maybe you're doing everything else right, but you're not de-stressing. So you're running around, you know, like a chicken with your head cut off. Whatever it is that's your particular challenge, pay attention to what your body tells you when you give it what it needs, because it's going to tell you it's pretty happy.
Yeah, you tap into such a good point there, Mary, because, you know, it's a lot of plates to spin, and there's so many different things that we're supposed to do, and there's so much information out there about what to do, but how do we do that? And I think, you know, even the experts have a hard time every day walking that straight and narrow. And, you know, we all have that need to come back to an awareness of those things. And oh boy, I've really let this slide, or gosh, I'm not making any time for myself lately, and I'm really feeling, you know, stress from that. You know, stress is a huge one. So I think these are all really powerful things for people to be able to hone in on.
And you know, to think of it like it's empowering, like it's an empowerment, as opposed to, you know, well, I can't take time for self-care, or, you know, if I do, my family's going to think. Like, deciding and making these choices feels very empowering. It's like, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing Thyroid 30 right now, and I need this much sleep, and I'm going to get it. And I need to take some time for me because I need it, and I'm going to get it because I'm doing these things, you know. It feels very empowering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oh, go ahead, Ginny.
Oh, I was just going to say, when I don't do those things, I know my family notices. I feel like, guys, I'm doing this for all of us here, so that, you know, I can be here for you as well as for me. It's all, you know, all part of the whole organism of a family and a community, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to add, you know, I think as mothers, wives, friends, daughters, we feel so guilty when we take time for ourselves. Right. Everybody else and everyone else's priorities often come first, because to do anything else is selfish, right? It's, oh my gosh, you know, she's selfish. She's not giving everything 24/7 to everyone else. And, you know, I would encourage people to step out a little bit and think about, if you were talking to your best friend, would you tell your best friend it's selfish to get a little extra sleep so that you feel well? Is it selfish to make sure that you're drinking enough or taking a break to do some mindfulness and stress reducing activities? Is it selfish to take a little break to get some movement and exercise into your life, or to spend a little more time cooking so that you can eat something really healthy and wonderful? No, it's absolutely not. You would tell your beloved friend, your daughter, your mother, please, I love you. Take the time you need to feel good. So, if you're not telling yourself that, then you're not being a good friend to yourself. And, I think it starts with us. We have to honor ourselves as much as we would honor any other loved one and in our lives. And because if we're not a loved one of ourselves, we got a problem.
That's right. Jody says, great point. And we all agree, self-care is not selfish, right? I mean, we hear from people who are bedridden. They really can't function in a normal way in their lives. And I always wonder, when I hear those stories, what kind of advice have they gotten and what kind of things could they be doing so that they feel better? And I think that does get in the way for a lot of people. It can be very difficult to prioritize ourselves and to, I know as a chef, I always felt like I have to please other people. There's this expectation that when people come over, they're going to have something delicious to eat. And I try to still fulfill that expectation somewhat, but it's different now. It's gluten-free, it's dairy-free most of the time. There's a lot more vegetables involved, and it isn't the homemade mac and cheese and fried chicken and things like that all the time anymore, Yeah.
Yep.
But I would also say sometimes it's okay to order a pizza too.
Right. Yes.
Maybe gluten-free with some extra veggies though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I had to finally kind of let go of was all these stringent protocols and all these things. And it was making me so stressed and unhappy trying to follow exactly how everything's supposed to be. Cause you can't have this and you can't have gluten. And once I kind of let it go, now I realize I make better choices. And if pizza's on the menu and I haven't had pizza in a while, then I'm going to have pizza. I don't have as many pieces as I might have used to. Right now, I might have one, but now it doesn't feel so restrictive. And so,
Yeah.
Exactly. And, and maybe you would choose to have, instead of 3 pieces, you're going to have 1 piece and a big salad.
Right.
And olive oil and avocado and some healthy veggies on it and good fiber in it, which means that, any food can be a good choice if it's eaten slowly, mindfully, and with great appreciation and not to excess. You can eat anything. Nobody's telling you, unless, of course, you have a deadly food allergy. You don't want to see me eating an apple because my lips are going to blow up like this and my face is going to,
wow,
be 3 times the size. So that's, I'm not going to eat apples at this point. And of course, if you have celiac disease, we're not going to be recommending you're eating gluten. But for everyone else, you usually can eat almost anything in moderation. And if you carefully look at how you're eating it and in what context. And again, if you're going to cheat or have a treat or do something a little more extravagant, be mindful about it. Enjoy it, savor it, relax, breathe. Just, because you don't want to just wolf it down and not appreciate it. You want to get every bit of wonderfulness out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Believe me, I did. That whole, every piece, up to 4 pieces, I was, this is so yummy.
Good.
Well, and you don't want to, be adding additional anxiety either around what you're eating. And yes, we do realize there's some people out there who really can't, even delve into those really extreme food sensitivities and allergies and things. But we're so lucky too to live in a time where we have so many choices, right? Like we love to do homemade pizza. Before diagnosis, we would do homemade pizza night like once a week, once every couple weeks. Well, now I get a cauliflower crust. I love it. And, the boys can have their regular pizza crust and put whatever on it. And I have this delicious cauliflower crust pizza with I do like a homemade dairy-free pesto and put all kinds of grilled veggies on there.
Yeah.
I look forward to it as much as they do. You know, we have those choices. And yes, occasionally I do indulge in just a regular old cheesy, gluten-y piece of pizza because I personally, I found I can get away with that if I don't do it very often.
Right.
It's where I just completely fall off the wagon for like a week, and then I really start to feel it, and the brain fog and all the, you know, residual symptoms come back. But there are so many great choices out there for us now, right? That we can make, you know? So
Absolutely.
Yep.
we would love it if you would choose to join us for Thyroid 30, our upcoming 30-day wellness adventure. We are all about helping you make the best possible choices for your health. It's going to be so much fun. There's teams. You score yourself every day based on 8 daily rituals that are all focused on thyroid-friendly diet and lifestyle practices. And enrollment closes on Sunday, guys. So we're getting down to the wire. If you haven't already, please join us for Thyroid 30. We are so lucky to be here today with Mary and also to have her on our Thyroid Refresh and Thyroid 30 advisory team. So she has brought so much amazing content and wisdom and expertise to the table for you. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Mary. It's been wonderful chatting with you.
Thank you both. It's been really fun, and I'm really excited about the launch of Thyroid 30. So we'll see everybody on their teams, and it's going to be fun.
See you on the inside, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. See you on the
Game
inside.
on.
Thank you to all the viewers and replay watchers out there. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep. See you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Thanks for being here.
Team Head Bandanas.